We have in the studios with me Saliu Mohammed. He's a security analyst and is going to look at this rising or surprise security breach, I would say, in the northeast Borno state and, of course, the general security architecture in the northern region. Very warm welcome to Newsnight. Most unfortunate incident on Friday night at a time that Nigerians thought that the military was really, had curtailed the excesses of Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters. They sprung a surprise on Friday night, killing 63 Nigerians, including 5 military personnel. What are your thoughts here?
Well, good evening, our erudite anchor. I think in the first place, it's not surprising. If you can vividly recall, the executive governor, Umar Zulum, months ago had raised issues about the reinsurgence of the insurgents. And I think to some extent, the operation Hadden Kai, made up of Air Force, Army, Police, DSS, and others have been on top of it. But there are certain aspects that are left. There is laxity in intelligence gathering and coordination. Because that particular area, when you look at Darul Jalal, is near Banki in Bama local government area. We once had the chief of army staff who hailed from that area. At the time he was holding sway, he prioritized periodical surveillance in that particular area. Don't forget, Metele is not also far from these areas where they once overran military cantonment and also other things. And again, there are certain areas that are still left unmanned. When you look at this area of Darul Jalal near Banki during the Boko Haram insurgency at 90% level was one of the basic and main areas of regrouping of Boko Haram during the Shekau days and also of others. And don't forget, with the joining and merger of ISWAP and Boko Haram, that is both their foreign fighters who are fleeing from Libya, Mali, Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso up to those areas there, the porous nature of Gamborungala border, the porous area of this border and Cameroon, and unmanned intel on waterways. When I say unmanned intel, you don't need only
the Nigerian Navy is supposed to be
Nigerian
there. They're
Navy
supposed to have a base there. They have a base.
They have a base in
why
Baga.
are they not? Yeah, why are they not complementing the army and the air force, who been really taking this fight to the Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists?
There are widespread allegations against the naval authorities in Baga. Rather than combing the waterways, they are rather involved, both the non-commissioned officers and commissioned officers, in fish business.
That's really terrible.
The major transportation, lifting, and wholesale of fish trade in Baga is by the naval authorities, severally on TikTok and social media angles. Even the inhabitants of the areas and TikTokers have made such allegations, yet uninvestigated by either the chief of defense staff or chief of naval. Then above all,
this is not a palatable allegation at all. I mean, to the military authorities, particularly to the chief of naval staff, that his officers and men rather engage in fish trading than securing the Lake Chad region, where these ISWAP and Boko Haram fighters infiltrated Jamal.
Even though the chief of naval staff, Vice Admiral Ogala, recently visited Baga, where he boosted their morale and even donated some boats by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President and Commander-in-Chief. Even at that, the Inspector General of Police posted Marine Police. In the Nigerian police too, they have people they call the Marine Police that mans the waterways. Even the IG2 deployed Marine Police. Rather than being in Lagos, they are also there in Baga. But even with their skeletal patrols, some of these ISWAP and Boko Haram insurgents are still doing business as usual on the waterways. The Tumbus area, the Mandara Hills, which is part of Lake Chad region, the porous nature of the waterways as well as the borders is making the infiltration of Boko Haram and ISWAP to be made on notice. And don't forget, the members of the armed forces, police, and DSS are not also angels. Manpower, they have shortage of manpower. Even though with the procured gadgets and what have you, they are not putting most of them into better use. If not, why? They already know that Banki has been one of the major terrorist done. And you cannot post the best intel officers from Defense Intelligence Agency, from Naval Intelligence, Air Force Intelligence, Military Intelligence, Police Force CID, IG Monitoring, IRT and STS. The police are custodians of internal security, and they also have marine police.
The situation has overwhelmed them. We know that, constitutionally. But what we have right now in Nigeria is overwhelming. Is that why some stakeholders and some school of thoughts are calling for a security architecture overhaul?
Well, the overhauling, which is restructuring in another way, is very necessary. But beyond the overhauling, because no matter how you overhaul, without establishment of permanent security structures. For example, what happened in Gidam Mantau, in Katsina State, under Malumfashi local government, where innocent Muslim worshippers observing the Subuhi prayers were massacred, was lack of presence, non-presence of either Mopo squadron or maybe area command or full-fledged, well-capacitated division headquarters or military cantonment of the army or air force.
You just talked about the lean strength, of the forces or the security agencies and the rest. Can they be everywhere at the same time? What happened, to air power that has really been giving great support to the ground forces? I remember you mentioned Gamoru Ngala,
yes,
which is between the Cameroon, Chad, and Nigerian border and the rest.
Absolutely.
And they have made series of inroads decimating Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters and the rest.
You see, the issues are some of these insurgents live amongst innocent inhabitants of that area. And ownership involvement is lacking from people at the receiving end. In view of why a group called Northern Youth and Elders Forum, in conjunction with a magazine called Verbatim and Mike Okiro Security Network, are planning a kind of workshop to enlighten some of the inhabitants. Because I can tell you, OI played out for arrest, possible arrest of Mahmuda terrorist leader Abba in Wawa, because the communities around that area cooperated with the army authorities, police, DSS, and others. They gave them the terrain, geographical setting, and what have you. This is lacking in northeast and northwestern states.
So they are complicit. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. I want to tell you, even His Excellency Governor of Borno State knows there are certain communities in Borno where you do not or you cannot discuss issues about ISWAP or Boko Haram, because in one place or the other, there is a sister, a brother, a nephew, a cousin, it's a member. The more you discuss it, let me give you an example of Metele. Aftermath of attack on military cantonment, a retiree that was discussing it where they take tea. The next morning, they went and security killed him. They eat the information from the police and the security agents, because once they give, they will also come after them. So in states like Katsina, Zamfara, Niger, Borno, Yobe, and others, there are certain privileged information that if you display your constitutional role as a citizen police or ownership involvement information, the next day, the next person will just go and, report to the insurgents, and they will come after you. That was what happened in Gidam Mantau, because Itato, in a neighboring town, they have summoned the courage to give information and even go after the bandits. They killed a lot of them. They came from reprisal attack in that Gidam Mantau under Malufashi local government. So also, we are there to be permanent security structures. They will summon the courage to give that privilege, because they will know before they come, maybe the Mopo squadron. They will repel it.
Let's look at the call by Governor Zulum, for example, for the forest guards. And the president only a week earlier had said, look, the civilian JTFs, yes, they've tried, but, the Nigerian military, the security agencies have to go beyond, far beyond that, to eliminate the terrorists once and for all. There doesn't seem to be a sync in what Governor Zulum is calling for and what President Bola Tinubu, is asking for in the way of ending the grip of insurgency on Nigerians?
You see, Mr. President, with due respect to him, as 8-year governor of Lagos State, his call for state police at this time is like misplaced priority, because the existing civil service in the states, existing state fire service, residual creations like VIO, they've not been able to take care of them. Amotekun became successful because of private sector inclusion and community efforts as well. State police, when you create it, according to the advocacy that Mr. President, which I don't support, where do you get the funding for building of barracks, uniform, AK-49, AK-47, RPG?
But the states are having far increased income now, revenue from
policing outside America that has state police. Policing by states in third world countries has never, even though a lot of them have never experimented it, it is not guguru. So they need to. It is easier said than done. I have given example. States wage, is it not only Opus or Dima that has been able to pay 104? I prove it now. Other states, will they be able to? At the time you do that, they will have problems, because number one, their political followers, they are going to bring as state police officers. At the end of the day, they won't be able to procure AK-47, get the utility vehicles, build offices like outposts, divisional headquarters, area commander. It's not easy. So the issue is Mr. President should rather properly fund the existing larger specialized corps of the police: conventional police, counter-terrorism unit, police special forces, IRT, special tactical squad.
We have the National Forest Guard now too.
Well, you see, issue of forest guard, there is one thing people don't know. Already in the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, do you know why agro rangers were brought up? To protect farms and the forest. Rather than waiting for forest guards, capacitate and fund agro rangers. That is why you have agro rangers under the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Force. Then in the land army, we have amphibious brigade. In case people don't know, the essence of having amphibious brigade is for forest related issues.
Not just for
water. That is it. So you see, you have a first wife. You've not been able to clothe her, give her accommodation. Then you are talking about the second or third. Even though with due respect to our religion, we are to marry 4 when you have the capability. So Mr. President, with due respect to him, is one pro-democracy activist, politician I respect. Mr. President, sir, adequately fund. Even their retirement benefits, they are protesting. Barracks have been sold in the guise of redesigning. Falomo, Ikoyi, Gariki, Jabi, Utako, all over. Police don't even have barracks.
Would interrogate some of these issues you've raised. I mean, in subsequent, news appearance for you. Thanks so very much.
Thank you.
Saliu Mohammed is a security analyst for coming to shed light on the recent development in Bama, Borno State.